Hi, welcome to another Nanomon devlog. It's been a minute since the last one I did. It's almost a year, I think, or might be actually a year. So I thought I'd just kind of do a quick overview of what the game is, since it has changed a lot in that little hiatus, and it's solidified a little bit more. So some of those older devlogs from like 2 years ago maybe just don't, like the game design has changed a little bit. So straight up, Nanomon is a virtual pet that sits on your desktop. I've enlarged the window a little bit here, but normally it would just be like really small. It'd be about like an eighth of this size, and it'd just be like down here in the bottom, and it just snaps to the side of the screen so you can play it while you're doing other things. So just spawn a new Nanomon. I've got some mail. And it operates a lot like a Tamagotchi or a Digimon, where you raise it, you feed it, and you kind of care for it, and it evolves based on how you've been looking after it. So I've just got a newborn guy here. I'll just feed him some meat. I'm the only developer on this at the moment. I'm doing like all the pixel art and everything. The pixel art changed a lot. I know some people might have seen this in a Gym Leader Ed video he did, where he used some kind of older footage where it was a lot lower resolution, but this is what it looks like now. And I think even in my older devlogs, it was like visually slightly different. So yeah, so this is my little guy. You can pat him, you can feed him. Good. He's saying he wants to rest here a little bit. That's because he's low on energy. If I just feed him a little bit more, that'll prop up his energy. This is the main menu. You can just see like here up. Yeah, so his energy is about 50% right there. So his energy will go up as things go on. The point of the game is I can like train. You can train your Nanomon for like battles and things like that. So you can see he's just like his attack stat is going up. And the reason you want to do that is because you can go exploring. And this is sort of like the most interesting part of the game, is that you can explore different areas of the map. And the map changes every day, kind of like a daily run in a roguelike or something, except that it's the same for everybody. So if you could see there, and like we've just come in the map to a magical area that is 1 square to the left of our island home. And that's a magical area, so that'll be a magical area for everybody. So if you find something in this magical area, and there'll be different things depending on the day and things, so a magical area won't always be the same. You might find like an item or an enemy or some encounter here, and then you can tell your friend about it, and they'll be able to kind of experience that, and you can talk about it, and they can do the same thing. So you might be like, oh, well, look, I'll go to the left of the island home today, and I'll see what's there, and you go to the right, and if we find something interesting, like tell the other person, because it does take a little while to explore areas, so you won't be able to see like everything. Probably you won't be able to see everything on the map every single day, so it's got a bit of a community aspect there. So while he's exploring, I'll just show you a few other things. You've got like your mail, so you get mail as things go. This is all sort of tutorial mail that I'm just skipping over right now. But you'll also just get like, I don't know, I've got old mail here from like before. This was like the last Nanomon I had, and he left. He was like, everything sucks. You don't even care about my mood, so he left. But yeah, you'll get different mail from people with like requests or like tip-offs or things like that. What else is there? Oh, there's items. So like as you explore the world, you'll discover like different items and things. That's how Nanomon evolve. In other virtual pets, usually they evolve based on care mistakes and how you raise them. I do like that experience, but I think that works much better in like a virtual pet that's just in your pocket and is on 24/7. So when Nanomon, you quit the game, it's not running anymore. You don't have to worry about it. So if it's the kind of game where you're like really playing it, it's very difficult to have a care mistake because you're kind of playing it the whole time and you notice it. So it didn't really make sense to just copy that system from Tamagotchis and other virtual pets. So instead of care mistakes playing into evolutions, it's what you feed them. And that way, every day, if you explore like a magical area, you might find some magical food, and then when you feed that to your Nanomon, they'll evolve into a magical Nanomon. So it kind of makes sense in that way. So you can see here I've got some eyeballs on a stick, right? So if I've explored a spooky area and found that, and down here there's like some pixel meat, and that'll like make them evolve into like a more primal, pixelated kind of Nanomon. I don't know what I want to do. I might go for this mushroom, and I'll feed him that because mushrooms are magical, as everybody knows. Mushrooms are magical, and so I'm in a magical area, so I'm more likely to discover mushrooms here. Yeah. So what happens is when you're exploring, this is maybe what you would do if you wanted to, say, do some homework or write an essay or just watch YouTube or just do whatever if you're just chilling on your computer. This requires very little interaction from you. Occasionally they'll call out and say they need something or they've found an item or an enemy or something. But it's not like a very hands-on experience most of the time. It's about prepping them, getting them ready to go out on an expedition, and then just kind of leaving them do their own thing. So I'll just quickly turn this. Also, I don't know if you can hear that. If you've watched any of my other videos, this is a new feature that I've added where I made a different sound effect for the menu. I don't know, I thought that was funny. I'll just quickly turn off this. So there's a thing that, what happens is if I open another window, say Steam, it will be underneath the Nanomon window, and that way it's always on top. It works better when the window is small, so you can see if I, whoops, wrong one. This one, see it becomes smaller and it would just sit in the screen there. I'll make it bigger so that you can see it in this video though. And you can turn that off, so I'm just going to turn that off now so he'll stay behind. The window will be able to go behind things now, so you can see I clicked off it, did that. And yeah, now, so that's kind of got you up to speed. I just wanted to talk about what I've been doing. So I have been working on another game with a friend of mine called Cardboard Kings for the last couple of years, and we just really had to, we finished that up this year and we had to do a lot of post-release stuff, so I didn't really have a lot of time to work on Nanomon, but I'm back on this game full-time now. I'm in an office with some other people, and that's really fun. And yeah, it's been really, really invigorating. I've really solidified a lot of design things and things with this game. Something I kind of want to show off, I don't know if this is interesting to people, but this is a mood board I've been making. Shout out to Callum for telling me about Pure Ref, which P-U-R-E-R-E-F, which is just a mood board kind of program. I think it's pay by donation, so I think you can get it for free. Yeah, and it's just great. You can just kind of drag, you can copy and paste things into it, which is really handy. You don't even have to screenshot them. And I've just kind of got this little windmill looking thing going on right here, and I've got over here just a bunch of things that have inspired me or that I'm looking at for UI design. So I've got over here a bit of I think it's Drill Dozer, Mega Man Battle Network, some Digimon stuff. Don't know what else. Oh, down here is Dreeps, that's pretty cool. Then down here I've got monster designs and things. So I think I've been trying to do with the monster design. Oh, sorry, this is probably really annoying to watch. The thing I've been trying to do with the monster design, I've threw away a lot of old monsters. If you've watched older videos, because I think they were 32 by 32. Sorry. Oh, I'm just checking in on him because I can't see him. It's raining now. Okay, so he'll call out if he needs something. I think I should be able to hear him, but I'm not sure. Yeah, but I threw away a lot of old monster designs when I changed the resolution of the Nanomon from 32 by 32 pixels to 96 by 96 pixels. You can just get a lot more out of them when they're a high resolution, basically. But yeah, this is what I've been looking at. Kind of all over the place. I've kind of just set myself a goal of making sure that they don't look like Digimon and they don't look like Pokemon. Those are sort of my things. I know I've got a lot of Digimon pictures here, but yeah, just trying to find my own sort of style of monster. Oh, I don't know if you heard that, but there, look, he called out and he's found something. So I'll just quickly click on him. Oh, okay, so he's found a treasure chest. This is a work in progress, and he's not going to get into this chest because his attack power is not anywhere near high enough. But yeah, while you're exploring, you'll find things like that. Sometimes they'll just find items. Other times they'll find treasure chests or fights or other Nanomon that just want to chat or follow you around for the day. That one will change. That was a little bit, that's pretty debug looking at the moment. It was very basic. But yeah, there you go. So that's a thing. So one thing that I bought a book recently by Sean Tan. If you don't know Sean Tan, he's like a children's author and illustrator, and he is really, really cool. And he's from where I'm from, and he draws like some real great monsters. He did The Lost thing. That's a really good book of his. And The Rules of Summer. I highly recommend that if you have like a younger sibling or an older sibling. It's a really good kids book to check out. Up here, these are my inspirations and things that I've been collecting for the world design. It's a lot of like pixel art stuff that I like. Over here, this is a huge one. This is a game called Dreeps. I really recommend this. It's on iOS and 3DS, Japanese 3DS, but I don't think you can even download it anymore. But you get it on iOS. It is a game that basically plays itself. And you just sort of like watch it throughout the day. It's almost like a little procedural movie that plays out. There's some Digimon stuff, some Zine McFarlane, who is a UK-based architect. I really like his work. It's got this like really nice washed out kind of thing. Yeah, and then over here, this is sort of like my vibe check area. This is the idea of like marketing and extraneous material and things. So like a lot of 80s and 90s looking like Digimon stuff. Like Digimon's obviously a huge inspiration for things. But yeah, just things like product design, the way it's presented, stuff like that. This kind of like thing here where you get like just the different colors of them and stuff. He's called out again. What have you found? Another chest. That's incredibly lucky if this was gameplay, but because this is like demo footage, this is incredibly unlucky because I don't want to show you the same thing over and over. I swear that you see other things sometimes. But yeah, just working out like how to present the game and stuff. Not that there's going to be like box art, but just the way that like I really like down here. I think this is really cool, like box art and stuff like that. Thinking about how to present the game visually in a striking kind of nostalgic way. Street Fighter, I don't know why that's there actually. I just think it looks cool. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of interesting. I think maybe not. Maybe it's boring as shit, but it's something I appreciated. You know, something I'll do now. So he's been exploring for a little while. Something I have been doing that I've been a little bit quiet. Wrong button. There you go. Something I've been a little bit quiet on is I've wanted to get multiplayer going because there is a beta going on at the moment in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. There's a link in the description. I put out keys every now and then. Whenever I do like an update or something, I'll put out some new keys. But there's no multiplayer in it at the moment, and I really wanted to try and get that in before the end of the year. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. I'm going away in a couple of weeks for a holiday. But yeah, the problem I was having was I had the battle system was used like random number generators and things like that. And it kind of looked interesting. You can find like videos and things of it on my Twitter and stuff. But it didn't work well with multiplayer, basically, because without like going into like the technical details too much, multiplayer just does not work well with randomness. You want things to be deterministic, which means like if you run it however many times, it will always come back the same way. So like 2 + 2 = 4 is deterministic, right? Whereas if you say 2 plus a random number, that could be anything, right? And that's the problem I have with the multiplayer, is that it was just relying on random numbers and things to make it look interesting. So I've been working on a new battle system. I'll show you. This is work in progress. It is functionally working, but it's all like debug kind of looking. Oops. There you go. Actually, I'll do it. There you go. And basically what's happening here is that this is sort of like a turn-based system that is just playing itself, and it just kind of goes through a bunch of like motions and like checks and things. I don't want to like go into it too much unless people want me to, but like there's no randomness in it. So what happens is if you were to get that fight and run it over and over and over, you would always get the same result, which is what you want for multiplayer. Because what happens then is that basically you send the data of one Nanomon to one player, and then that player sends their Nanomon data to the other player, and you swap, and then you just run the battle on both of their systems, and they'll get the same result. And that's how the virtual pets worked, right? Like, you remember when you get like a Digimon, you would connect them, then pull them apart, and then the battle would go out, right? What's happened is that they've just sent their data across to each other, and no matter what, the data will always come back. When they compare the two Digimon, will always come back sorry, with the same result, a win or a loss, right? You can't do that if you've got randomization. What you've got to do with randomization is have one person's computer run the battle and then send what's happening back to the other person. Basically be sending like a video in essence to the other person. And that just creates all these problems with like cheating and problems like that. So what we can do with this is just like initially you just send the packets of data over, it runs it, they both get the same result. If they're not the same result, I can just say, oh, that battle didn't count, one of you cheated, or something went wrong, sorry, you know what I mean? And just nullify the result. It also means by making it deterministic, we can have things like shadow, like boxing, like rematches, like ghost replays, where you have like, you know, you could fight someone and then I could just save that person's or that Nanomon data in your game save, and then be like, you could have a rematch at that exact point every time. So your guy could change and you could see what happens, right? And it wouldn't have to be like online or whatever. So that's kind of interesting. It also is a way that by making it, so just a game design thing, I think this is kind of interesting. By making it side on, so the battles used to be top down. By making it side on, I've created a like game design sort of like language for the player that, and I think this is interesting because I don't know if people realize these kind of things, but like, so what happens with a game like this is you have mini games. The problem is that I want this to be bigger than a Tamagotchi, which usually has like 2, 3, maybe 4 mini games on it. I want this to have, you know, 10, 20, something like that. If they're all different, that becomes like really difficult to remember them all, because they're going to be, you might only play one every week or so, right? So that's a problem. And then you also get the problem of like, because you play this game in the background while you're doing other things, I can't have it stop and make you play a mini game. So the mini games have to show up at certain times, and then I needed mini game style activities that could play themselves. So what I've done here is, by having this battle system that's side on, I can say any activity, anything you see where the Nanomon transitions to a side on perspective and starts fighting or starts doing an activity, you know, just inherently your hands off. You don't have to do anything. So while they're exploring, so when that chest appeared, right, I'm going to change that so it's side on, and then you know, oh, he attacks the chest, he'll do it himself. You just need to click, yep, go ahead when he calls out, and then he'll do it himself. And then what happens is that when you complete an area, once you've completely explored an area, it unlocks the activity for that area, and that is going to be top down. And that's if you've seen like fishing. So I'll try, and I think it's, what is it? No, wrong one. Here we go. So this is what fishing looks like. This is, again, not finished, but this is top down. And when you see something top down, you know, oh, I'm involved in this. Okay, so fishing is a mini game, and whoop, oh no, I missed because his attack's really slow. But then all the mini games are basically going to use the same logic here of like, okay, your Nanomon is there and you click on things. And that is how all top-down mini games are going to sort of have you interact with them. And then all side-on ones like fights, which I'll go to here. These ones you'll see and you'll know, okay, that's hands off. I don't need to do anything here. You might be like, oh, what's the point of that? Well, the point is like, I don't want to have to tutorialize things all the time, and also just having an immediate knowledge of how involved you need to be in something when it happens, right? So yeah, I mean, you might be listening and thinking that sounds crazy, like why would you do that? But it is really important to have that kind of thing in games, like basically have like a language that you're explaining. So if things are side on, they can look after themselves. If they're top down, you're going to be clicking on things, and then the top down things you'll realize after a while, oh, top down things only occur when I'm like opting in, and you'll always know before you opt in. It's like, okay, here's something I'm going to be involved in. Whereas sometimes you might get into battles and you didn't have a choice, right? But it doesn't matter. It's not going to be taking up your time. If you're like riding an S or something, he'll just do the battle himself. So yeah, there's things like that. People being like, what have you been doing for a year? Honestly, just thinking about things like that, philosophically, how this game is meant to operate, what's the purpose of it, being this like little thing in the corner, but also trying to work out how I can make the deepest experience possible that feels like this huge, expansive world, while essentially like having the gameplay of a tiny little virtual pet keychain from the 90s. There's lots of more things that I could go into, but they're all sort of half finished at the moment, so I don't really want to talk about them because I can't show them off. But I think that pretty much wraps it up for today. I'll try and do another video before I go away, so it'll be in a week or two. Our game Cardboard Kings is coming out on Switch on December the 8th, so you can go check that out. I will be kind of busy during that launch period, but yeah, I will try and do another video, probably just showing a little bit of an update on the battle system and how that's working. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. You can wishlist Nanomon on Steam and join the Discord. Those links will be in the description. See ya.